హలో ఫ్రెండ్స్, హౌ ఆర్ యూ? అందరూ బాగున్నారా? సో మన యూట్యూబ్ ఛానల్లో క్లాసెస్ స్టార్ట్ చేసాము. సో ఆ క్లాసెస్ జరుగుతూ ఉన్నాయి, మీ అందరికీ తెలిసిందే. సో ఎలక్ట్రికల్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ సంబంధించిన క్లాసెస్ నేను నిర్వహిస్తూ ఉన్నాను. నా మీద నమ్మకంతో 62 మంది సబ్స్క్రైబర్లు అయినారు. ఇంకా ఇంక్రీజ్ కావాలి సబ్స్క్రైబర్లు. ఆల్ ద సబ్స్క్రైబర్స్ హ్యాస్ టు రీచ్ to 100, then the continuity of classes will be beginning in our YouTube channel. Please, all the people who are interested in electrical engineering or who are interested in electrical engineering can subscribe my channel. So today I am going to start some topic called transformer. So in a transformer, I wanted to say something to you. So you all know the definition of a transformer. Transformer is a static device. So in all of the electrical machines, transformer is a static device. So this is the symbol of transformer. So this is the symbol of transformer. So this is called the primary winding. This is called the primary winding, and this is called the secondary winding. This is called the secondary winding. So in between the primary winding and secondary winding, this part is called as a core. So there is a core in between the primary winding and the secondary winding in a transformer. See here, in the primary winding, here this is called as a voltage, that is called as a terminal voltage, is been represented by the letter V1, and the EMF induced in the primary winding is been represented by the letter E1, and the current flowing in the primary winding is been represented by I1. In the similar manner, the current flowing in the secondary is being represented by I2, and the EMF induced in the secondary is being denoted by the letter E2, and the terminal voltage which will occur output of the secondary winding is called as a V2. V2 is the terminal voltage. This is the representation. So now I wanted to say a point called EMF equation. EMF equation. So this equation is very important. So before going to this equation, let us know one point, that is called transformation ratio. Transformation ratio. So this transformation ratio is represented by the letter K. The transformation ratio is being represented by the letter K. K is equals to, that is V2 by V1 or E2 by E1 or N2 by N1 or I1 by I2. This is the formula of transformation ratio. So the number of turns, here you can see these turns are being represented by the letter N1. Sorry, this is represented by the letter N2. It's not a letter, it's a words. Okay, N1 and N2 are the turns. Turns of the primary is being represented by N1. Turns of the secondary is being represented by the N2. So this is the transformation ratio. K is equals to V2 by V1 is equals to E2 by E1 is equals to N2 by N1 is equals to I1 by I2. So if the K value is equal to 1, when the K value will be 1? If the number of turns in N1 and the number of turns in N2, if both the turns in the N1 and N2 are same in number, if for example N1 is, if this primary winding is having 100 turns, similarly if the secondary winding is also having 100 turns, then such a type of transformer such a type of transformer, if n1 value and n2 value is equal, then the transformation ratio will be become as 1. When the transformation ratio is 1, such a type of transformers are called as isolation transformer. Isolation transformer. So if k value is greater than 1, if k value is greater than 1, when will be the k value is greater than 1? When n2 value is greater than n1 value. n2 number of turns of the secondary is greater than the turns of the primary. In such a case, the transformation value is greater than, k value is greater than 1. Such a type of transformers we can simply call as a step up transformers. Step up transformers. So if, for example I will say, if number of turns on the secondary is 200 and if the number of turns on the primary is 100, then the k value is equal to 2. So if the number of turns on the secondary is more than the number of turns in the primary, such a kind of transformer is called as a step up transformer. If k value is less than 1, if k value is less than 1, then such a transformer is called as a step down transformer. Step down transformer. In step down transformer, the secondary turns will be less compared to your secondary turns will be less compared to your primary turns. Then such a type of transformers is called as a step down transformer. So here example of this is a step down transformer. The k value will become as 1 by 2, that is equals to 0.5, which is less than 1. The k value which is less than is nothing but the step down transformer. Now come to EMF equation. So the EMF induced in the primary is being represented by the letter E1. So the EMF induced in the primary is being represented by the letter E1. So E1 is equals to 4.44 F phi 1, that is phi 1 or phi m, or phi 1 or phi m, and n1. Okay, E1 is equals to 4.44 F phi m n1. This is the EMF induced in the primary. The EMF induced in the primary. If you want EMF per turn, then the formula is 4.44 F phi m. Here the turn is n1 is taken as 1, therefore that is nothing but the EMF per turn. The formula is 4.44 F phi m. Similarly, for secondary induced EMF, E2 is given as 4.44 F phi m n2. See, that is for secondary. E2 is equals to 4.44 F phi m n2 is the secondary induced EMF in the transformer. EMF induced in the secondary winding is being given as 4.44 F phi m n2. The EMF induced in the primary is given as 4.44 F phi m n1. These are the basic formulas of EMF equation of a transformer, that is EMF induced and EMF per turn, and as well as the EMF induced in the secondary winding. These are the basic formulas, and from these formulas I can simply say that if number of turns is going to be increased, then automatically the induced EMF is also going to be increased. Therefore we can conclude that the induced EMF, that is EMF, is directly proportional to the turns in the transformer. The transformer has the concentration type of winding, concentrated sandwich type of winding is there in the transformer. The EMF induced in the transformer is directly proportional to the turns, number of turns in the transformer. Okay, one more thing, that is B is equals to B is nothing but the flux density. B is equals to 5 by A. 5 by A. If the flux density is going to be increased, if flux density will increases, then automatically area is going to be decreased. And one of the important question regularly asked in our examinations, that is nothing but, if the flux density inside the transformer is increased, then what is the size of the transformer? Otherwise they will ask in question format, that is consider a transformer T1, it is having the flux density of 1.5 Webers, and compare to the secondary compare with the transformer 2 T2, which is having the magnetic flux density as 1 Weber per meter. Then what is the which transformer will be big in size? So the size of the transformer, whichever this is a simple point you have to remember, that whichever the transformer having the less flux density, that transformer will be in bigger in size. If the transformer flux density is more, then automatically the size of the transformer is going to be reduced. Whenever you comes to the construction point, I will be discussing about all those things regularly about these topics, and this is the points what you have to be noted by on your notebooks while seeing the video. And one of the thing here, the frequency is going to be the constant, so the transformer is a constant frequency device, and this is a very important point. The frequency of the transformer is not going to be changed. The transformer is called as a constant frequency device. Constant frequency device. So there is if there is no effect, so we will discuss about the things whatever there in coming. So now let us take one more topic called transformer on no load. So I will be saying about no load conditions. So when you comes a transformer on no load, so is a very important point why we have to discuss about the transformer on a no load condition. So if the air gap between, if you see this diagram, the air gap between the primary winding and the air gap between the secondary winding, if the air gap is more, what is the problem or what are the things going to be occurred is very important before going to discuss about the no load conditions. In a transformer, what is the principle of a transformer? Transformer works on the principle called mutual induction. This is a principle where the transformer works. Transformer works on the principle of mutual induction. So in this mutual induction, if the air gap between the primary number of turns and the secondary number of turns is more, in such a cases the winding of the primary drawn by the current at the initial stage of the transformer is going to be very high. At no load conditions, you have to remember this point. If there is a air gap between the primary winding and secondary winding is more, then automatically the magnetizing current is going to be increased, that is IB is going to be increased. In no load conditions, so no load conditions is nothing but your open circuit conditions. There is no load on the secondary, in the sense that is nothing but the open circuit condition. Simply you can take, so in a open circuit condition, that is nothing but the current which is flowing in the primary, that is I naught is given as I mu plus IW. So one more thing you have to remember, that if I naught is equals to I mu plus IW, I naught is nothing but the no load current. No load current is being represented by the letter I naught. Then what is meant by I mu? I mu is nothing but the magnetizing current. current. And what is the IW? IW is nothing but the working current or working component of the system is given as IW. So here the magnetizing component or the magnetizing current I mu is given as I mu is equals to I naught sin phi naught, I naught sin phi naught, and the working component IW is given as I naught cos phi naught, I naught cos phi naught. So this is the magnetizing current and this is the working current, and the vectors of both is given as an no load current I naught. So this is a no load, some of the things about the no load, and we will make two tests on the transformer, tests. So we will test the transformer in two methods. One is short circuit method and another one is open circuit method. This is nothing but, no load is nothing but open circuit method. In open circuit method we are going to find something that is nothing but, what are the things we will be find in the open circuit, I will be going to discuss near the open circuit. Mainly you remember one point, open circuit test is being conducted to find the iron losses. To find the iron losses we are going to conduct the open circuit test to the transformer. To find the copper losses we are going to test the transformer by short circuiting of the secondary winding. By opening of the secondary winding we can find the iron losses. By short circuiting of the secondary we can find the copper losses. And in upcoming topics I will be going to discuss about the efficiency and what are the conditions for maximum efficiency, all those things, and efficiency at any load. All the topics will be continued right now itself. By taking the 5 minutes break, I'll come back.